The soft hum of conversations filled the air at Morning Brew, a quiet cafe nestled in the heart of Washington, D.C. The smell of freshly brewed coffee lingered, mixing with the warmth of pastries just pulled from the oven. Seated near the window, Barron Trump stirred his latte absent-mindedly, staring at the cityscape beyond. He had always enjoyed the simple pleasure of a quiet cafe, an escape from the constant attention that followed him everywhere. Here, he wasn't just Barron Trump, the son of a former president. He was simply a young man enjoying his morning. But peace, as always, was fleeting. A sudden voice shattered the cafe's calm. "Are you serious? People like you don't belong here." Heads turned. A middle-aged man in a wrinkled button-up stood near Barron's table, his face red with anger. His voice carried through the small cafe, drawing everyone's attention. Barron looked up, confused. "Excuse me? You think you can just sit here like one of us?" the man spat. "Like your family hasn't caused enough damage?" The room tensed. A barista at the counter froze mid-pour. An older woman by the door shifted uncomfortably. No one knew what to do. Barron's expression didn't change. He had encountered moments like this before. Growing up in the public meant being judged before people even knew who he was. He had two choices: retaliate with the same hostility or handle it differently. He took a breath and stood, slowly pushing in his chair. "Sir," he said, his voice calm. "I'm just here for coffee, like everyone else." "Yeah." The man scoffed. "People like you don't get to act normal." Barron didn't flinch. Instead, he did something no one expected. "I'm sorry if I've upset you," he said. "But whatever anger you're carrying, I don't think it's really about me." The cafe went completely silent. The man's face twitched. He had expected a fight, expected Barron to snap back, expected the arrogance he had assumed would come from a Trump. But instead, Barron's response left him momentarily speechless. A younger woman at a nearby table, clearly uncomfortable with the confrontation, muttered, "Just leave him alone." Others nodded, watching the moment unfold. Barron motioned to the seat across from him. "You seem upset. Sit. Talk to me." The man hesitated. The last thing he wanted was to be reasoned with by someone he had labeled as the enemy. But something in Barron's tone, a mixture of patience and sincerity, made him pause. With a huff, he pulled out the chair and sat, crossing his arms. Barron signaled to the barista. "Can I get him a coffee?" "On me." The man frowned. "I don't need your charity." "It's not charity," Barron replied. "Just coffee." A cup was placed in front of the man, steam curling into the air between them. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his graying hair. "You don't get it, kid," he muttered. "People like me, we've lost so much because of your family." Barron stirred his latte. "Tell me." The man blinked. "What?" Barron nodded. "Tell me what you've lost." For a moment, the man hesitated. Then, in a voice that had lost its initial aggression, he spoke. "My brother. He lost his healthcare coverage and couldn't afford treatment. He was all I had." His voice wavered slightly. "And every time I see your last name, all I can think about is that." Barron sat in silence, absorbing his words. Then he said softly, "I'm sorry for your loss." The man let out a bitter laugh. "Yeah. What do you know about loss?" Barron met his gaze. "More than you think." The man faltered. The young man in front of him wasn't just a political name, he was a person. Minutes passed. The tension in the cafe melted into something different, an honest conversation between two people who had once seen each other as symbols rather than human beings. The man sighed. "I came in here ready to hate you." Barron smiled faintly. "And now?" The man exhaled. "I don't know. You're not what I expected." Barron took a sip of his coffee. "Neither are you." For the first time, the man chuckled. It was small, but it was there. The moment wasn't about agreement. It wasn't about politics. It was about something deeper, humanity. In a world so divided, they had found a small bridge between them. As the man stood to leave, he hesitated. Then, extending his hand, he said, "My name's David." Barron shook his hand. "Nice to meet you, David." The café watched in quiet awe as the man who had entered with rage left with something entirely different, understanding. As Barron sat back down, a young woman at the counter smiled. That was amazing. He shrugged. Sometimes people just need to be heard. And with that, he returned to his coffee, letting the world move forward, one conversation at a time. Moral of the story. We live in a world where it's easy to judge, easy to assume, easy to divide. But sometimes, a simple conversation can change everything. Understanding doesn't mean agreement, it means recognizing the humanity in each other.